Your body knows how to be healthy. I'm your host, Martha Blessing, and this is the Place to Be Free podcast, a show that is passionately devoted to illuminating the potential within you to transform your health and life. We're shaking up and breaking up old paradigms so you can free up your mind and body, elevate your consciousness, and create profound well-being and a ridiculously happy and healthy life. On this show, we defy the norms and embrace a journey toward profound well-being and creating true freedom. We challenge patriarchal medicine, question fear-based culture, and dive deep into topics like quantum healing, energy medicine, mental science, consciousness, and universal spiritual laws. Whether you're here for solo explorations or the insightful interviews with individuals who've conquered fear and disease and broken through limitations, you're in for a transformative experience. If you're seeking empowerment, if you're ready for a life-changing shift, you're in the right place. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Martha Blessing, and today I'm talking about the how of healing. Probably my favorite topic. I want people to be able to understand, how do we heal, right? Like, what did I do that's different that got me out of 10 years of daily chronic pain, reversed a rare incurable cancer, reversed hypothyroid? Like, what did I do? What is the mechanism that happens for people who heal when doctors say that it's impossible? Because it's happening all the time. So if you are one of those people who feel stuck, I want to share with you today something from one of my favorite books. It's called U Squared by Price Pritchett. And I want to share with you what it takes for you to break through to the next level of well-being. And the reason why I find this to be a topic that's so prevalent right now is because so many people come to me stuck, right? Like, they're just stuck. And it honestly breaks my heart, because if they knew what they needed, they think in their mind when they get on a phone call with me in a consultation that they know what they need. And they don't. And I don't say that to be a smartass or be mean, but they truly don't know. And they've tried so many things that they're in doubt and fear now. And so they're afraid that what they've done so far was a failure. It wasn't. It got them this far. And quite honestly, you need to go through these stages. You need to go through the 4 levels of consciousness and healing. Because healing is about consciousness. It's about awareness. It's not about somebody with a magic wand. It is all about energy. But we have the ability to shift that and change that ourselves for ourselves. And so often people get on calls with me in consultations and their mind is stuck and they can't actually hear what I'm saying. And I had that happen several times last week, and I consider it a reflection of myself as well, right? So that's why I want to share this. So I want to read from you first, Price Pritchett. And he's sitting in an inn, and he's observing, he's having a meal, and he's observing. And this is what he says. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life energies in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. The whining wings tell the poignant story of the fly's strategy. Try harder. But it's not working. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It is impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. This fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Across the room, 10 steps away, the door is open. 10 seconds of flying time, and this small creature could reach the outside world it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort now being wasted, it could be free of this self-imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach? Something dramatically different. How did it get so locked in on the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to seek a breakthrough with more of the same? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Try harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer any real promise for getting you what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's part of the problem. If you stake your hopes on a breakthrough on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances for success. So why did I want to read that to you? Why did I want you to understand this? Because when you seek out healing, if you knew what you needed, you would already be there. You need something that isn't in your awareness yet. And so what happens is people get on a call with me and they're trying to figure out how I fit in to their preconceived idea notion. But unfortunately, their preconceived idea notion is focused on the problem, not the solution, and that's what's keeping them stuck. They have to be willing, you have to be willing to do something new, and it's going to be something that you don't know anything about, because if you already knew and you applied it, you would be free from your symptoms. So a woman reached out to me, and what she wrote was that she wanted to heal her symptoms, but she also wanted to study with me. And she wanted to be able to use the kind of work that I do with her clients. And so we spoke, and essentially what was happening when she got on this call with me was that she was trying to fit me and my work into the place where she wanted to go. But she didn't actually know what it takes to get where she wanted to go. Her mind is only processing from where she's been, not where she's going. Do you get this? Where you've been is not where you're going. And so anything and everything you've used in the past is not going to be what moves you forward. It's got to be something that you don't know about, that you have no awareness of. Because if you had awareness, you would have used it and you would have gotten out of where you were. And that's the biggest challenge in my work, is people want to try to make sense of it. They want to understand it, and they can't. They have to be in it first. They have to have the teachings first. So she reached out to me with multiple health issues. And she also said that she, wanted to do what I do. She wanted to incorporate it into her healing practice. She said she was a intuitive or holistic, like an esthetician, right? And so how she started out, and I don't usually do this or allow this, but I wanted to hear what she was going to say and where her energy was. And so she went on for about 5 minutes telling me about her past. And I mean, just rambling, right? And I let her vent. for about 5 minutes, which is a long time when you're listening to this, because I know that that's what's keeping her stuck. The fact that she's has to give me this whole story about everything makes it very clear about what energy she's holding, right? So I let her vent. But when I stopped her and I tried to redirect her to the purpose of our call, she thought I was getting upset. I was not the least bit upset. My work is not to listen to your story and your identity and your wound and everything you've done that hasn't worked for you, because that's just a waste of time and energy for both of us because it hasn't worked. So I explained to her that I was not at all upset, but that I did not need to know one bit of information about where she has been, because it has nothing to do with how I work with my clients to help them get healing, and it has absolutely nothing to do with where she's going. And so you cannot create healing from the same place, ruminating in the old story. And she mentioned that she had made some good progress compared to where she had been. And that's wonderful. She got this far with this much. But it was almost as if she was trying to get my approval and hear that she had created success for herself. What my concern is, you can heal all of this. Literally, you're going on and on about a story. And, well, I'm better than I was. I'm better than compared to where I used to be. But when I told her that she could literally have a quantum leap and heal it all, her mind went into complete confusion. Because her belief is that she has to stair-step her way out of where she is to where she wants to go. She's a fly on the windowsill, buzzing. We do not have to stair-step our way out of, right? Like baby steps, baby steps. That's what she was telling me. I've taken baby steps and I'm better than where I was. That's wonderful, but understand that it doesn't have to take a lot of time. They're literally in the quantum field, in quantum healing. There is no space and time. Everything is already here. She's already healed. And all she was doing was investing her energy and talking to me was all about where she's been, which is what's keeping her stuck with where she's been. She goes, well, I've made progress. But when I offered her a quick solution, her mind couldn't take it in because it couldn't accept it. She was still back on the windowsill. She can't see that there's an open door that literally, bam, it can be gone and done quickly, and that it can be released. If we've got that belief that it has to be hard or take a long time, then we're going to need to stay stuck. We're going to need to make it excruciatingly painful. And for many people, that's a value, to prove themselves, to prove how hard they worked at something in order to get recognition and self-worth and self-esteem. When you ask for help and healing, you have to recognize that you are not going to stay in the comfort of everything that you have known. It's uncharted waters. You are going to have to give up something of a lower nature to have something of a higher nature. And you don't know what that is yet because you're not there. You can't see it. I talk about this often in my mentoring and healing program, right? Like if you have a coin, if you have a quarter in front of you, one side, depends which side you're facing. It's one coin, but there are two sides to that coin. And if you are a person who's been standing on the tail side the whole time, all you see is a coin and the tails. You don't even know that on the other side of that coin, there's a head. And so until you can understand the concept of polarity and the law of polarity, that what you want already exists and is here right now, your healthy body is here right now. That's the first thing that you have to accept. And then the second part is that you don't know how to get there because all you've seen is the tail. You first have to recognize that the head exists, and then you have to understand what it takes to get there. And doing that, you're not going to be able to stay in your comfort zone. There's going to be something that is uncharted waters. You're going to have to put your money and your faith in something that you know nothing about. And if you try to talk yourself in or out of it based on safety and security and money, you'll stay stuck where you are. Some people will say, well, I'm only ready and willing to invest, $100 on a Reiki session. You're not going to get there. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that Reiki is not good or energy healing is not good, quantum touch, whatever you want to call it. But that's still giving yourself and your energy and your power away to something or someone outside yourself. And all healing, all answers and all healing is already inside of you. Unless that practitioner is accessing that part of you and can tell you exactly what's going on and show you how to remove it yourself, they're smoothing over the edges of the pain that that the core cause is causing, but they're not removing and not getting at the core cause. And so you're going to be asked to put, again, like I said, your money and your faith in something that you know nothing about. Because if you already knew what you needed, you'd have already done it. You don't have the answer yet. You have it inside of you, but you haven't accessed it. It doesn't mean that the other steps up to this point were not effective. They were. They got you this far. Unfortunately, too many people believe that when they've done so many things and it, quote, hasn't completely healed them, that everything else was a failure. It doesn't mean that the steps were not effective. They were. They got you this far. But what's next is next level. If you really want to be fully, truly healed and embodied, you're going to have to invest in something new with someone who has done it successfully and who has done or who has what it is that you want to do. I was not the least bit offended by this young lady. I know what I do works. It worked for me. It's worked for countless numbers of clients. There are other healers, there are other people who I speak to weekly who are doing similar work to what I'm doing. And unless you're getting into universal laws until the subconscious reprogramming, and you're becoming empowered and you're learning how to do these things, you'll continue to give your power away to something or someone outside yourself. What's sad for me is when I know 100% that I can help someone be free of the pain and the illness and the symptoms, and they're struggling because they want to see it, right? Like they want to know and they want to see it. And that's because they don't believe that it's possible for them. They truly, deep in their core, have some kind of a story, tape, or belief going on that it's not possible for them. That's a lie. As my mentor would say, that's a lie from the pit of hell. And it is. So please be willing. Please open yourself to something new. Get out of your head. If you're thinking about working with someone, spend a few minutes in creating a stillness and like getting into your heart center and feeling into something, because you cannot outthink your old patterns. You can't think yourself to a new way of being. And that's what happens here. Like she was trying to think herself into, is this going to work? She doesn't even know, like she was in so much fear and so worried. She couldn't actually really hear what I was saying. So she couldn't possibly know whether or not it was going to work. That's really hard for me. I don't get angry. I get frustrated when I know what can help somebody and they can't feel it or they can't see it. So, thanks for listening. Your body knows how to be healthy. I'll see you in the next podcast. Thanks for joining me on another episode of the Place to Be Free podcast. If you found inspiration in our discussions on empowered living, mindset, and spiritual laws and healing, don't forget to subscribe and share the wisdom with your community. Connect with me on social media, and for exclusive content, free resources, and to stay updated on upcoming episodes, visit the website at marthablessing.com/free stuff. Until next time, remember, you're the author of your story. Keep breaking through barriers, defy old worn-out beliefs and patterns, and create a life without limitation. I'll see you in the next episode.